Hey everyone, my name is Tristan and welcome to my small workshop in my basement. This video is the fourth part of my Toothless Ironman armor build series, and I'm going to show you how I made the chest plate of the armor. So let's not waste any time and get right into the build. Before we start, here's the picture I'm basing my entire armor on. I'm gonna start with the front of the chest plate and I'm gonna build it from the center out. So I start by tracing and cutting out the round trim that goes around the arc reactor. Cutting round pieces is kind of hard, but having a sharp X-Acto knife makes it a lot easier. But still, you can see that my piece is kinda rough, so I'm gonna clean up the edges using my Dremel. And here is the piece all cleaned up. As I said, the front of the chest plate will be built from the center out, so now I'm just tracing the right pictorial part of the chest plate. Most people like to make paper templates before transferring them to foam, but I'm just kind of winging it, so it doesn't really matter. When I'm done designing my piece, I can cut it out, see if it fits, and then I can flip it, trace it again, and cut it out to create a mirrored piece that goes on the other side. I decided to make a fold on both my pieces, so for that you just have to trace a line where you want to cut a groove, then just cut out the groove using a sharp knife, and fill it with glue and glue the seam back together. You could use hot glue for these, but I'm using contact cement. And as you can see, folds are a super easy way to add awesome detail to your foam armors. Now I'm just gluing the center ring to both the pictorial pieces. And that's a good start to the front of the chest plate. Now I'm designing the two upper pieces still directly on my foam. And those pieces are gonna attach under the last ones, so I'm adding a bit of material on the bottom of the piece before cutting it out. And of course, when the piece is cut out, I flip it, trace it again, and cut out a mirrored one. And now that I have my two upper pieces, I'm gonna round up the top edges using my Dremel. I then use my heat gun to seal off the surface of the foam. And of course, when that's done, I use contact cement to attach the two upper pieces to the rest of the front plate. And now I repeat the same process as for all the other pieces to make the lower piece. When I'm done designing it, I cut it out and then I add contact cement to attach it to the rest of the front plate. And now here is the base of the front of the chest plate all completed. Now it's time to give it a little bit of roundness to the front of the chest plate. So for that I use my heat gun to heat up the foam and then I shape it on a foam ball to make it a bit rounder. The next pieces I design are the lower side plates of the armor, which go around the body but under the arms. It takes a little bit of tinkering around to make sure the angle is right, but when it's done, I just cut it out using a sharp X-Acto knife. And as for all the other pieces, I make a mirrored copy of it for the other side. And of course, now I glue the two pieces to the rest of the chest plate using contact cement. After that, I add a little bit of a trim over the side straps to give them a bit more of a 3D appearance. And when that's done, I use my Dremel to round off the edges of all of the front of the chest plate. And of course, I don't forget to seal my foam using my heat gun. Now it's time for the two upper straps, and they're just big rectangles of foam, which I glue to the rest of the chest plate using contact cement. And off camera, I also added a back piece. Now all that's remaining is to add some pieces on the back to connect the straps to the rest of the back piece. And you can see here that I'm using the fold technique on some of the pieces on the back of the chest plate. And then using contact cement, I attach those pieces to the rest of the chest plate. And now here is the base of the chest plate all completed. I won't show you when I added all of the details on the back plate because I just ended up chucking it away and replacing it with an entirely new one. And here you can see the completely finished and painted chest plate with the new back piece. I think it's a really clean design and I love it. So there is the final result with the modified back piece, and it's all painted. And with all the silver, I think it looks really cool and it stands out a lot. So this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, you can leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more stuff like this. In the next part of the series, we are gonna make the tail of the armor, so you definitely don't want to miss that. Until the next video, I'll see you later. Bye.